following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's time for Casey's Take on Sports, covering high school sports all across Dickson and Cheatham Counties, and a take on other sports items. Now, a man who always has a take is your host, Casey Patrick.
Good morning. How are y'all doing? Today is a great day. It is a wonderful day. Most of y'all know I love draft day, and that's what today is. That's going to be my first take coming up. We got draft day. Ronald Acuna Jr. is back, as you can tell. Also, we're going to talk a little bit of Morant and then some high school sports. Oh, and my new bowling shoes just came in. Today's a great day. Stay here. We're going to have some fun. Well, like I said just a minute ago, today it's the draft. Honestly, the NFL draft is one of my favorite moments throughout the entire year. Also, I mean, I like fantasy football draft. I like the MLB draft. I like the NBA draft. I'm a big fan of drafts. I like team building aspects of stuff. So, man, I'm excited. I am ready. I am so excited today. Like I said, today's just such an eventful day. There's so much stuff going on. This morning when I woke up and I got my Amazon notification or whatever that my new bowling shoes were out front, I was, from then on, I've been elated. So I've got bowling shoes, Ronnie's back, and the NFL draft. I have no clue what's going to happen tonight. Don't ask me. Anybody else that tells you they know what's going to happen, they're full of crap too. Nobody has any clue. I think most of these teams want to trade back. There's no real top tier quarterback that can start right off the bat. So you're probably not going to have the Mitch Trubisky events. You know, when kids, like random kids that really shouldn't go that quick, they get, I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I think you might have one of these teams that might jump on somebody like Desmond Ridder or maybe even Malik Willis, who I like, and I've talked about him a bunch. The Kenny Pickett kid, Sam Howell. Who knows, as far as these quarterbacks, how they're going to wind up or what the teams think of them. But I think there's an opportunity for one of these kids that they could probably get drafted in the first round, but you're not going to have 3 or 4 of them go in the top 10 like we've seen in recent years. I just don't think that's going to happen. And usually, if we thought that was going to happen with this current draft class, you're talking about chaos, which I love chaos. I'd be down for. I think that would be so much fun to watch all these teams just start taking kids that don't need to be taken that early and freaking out, and I think that would be fun. But Titans don't pick until 26. They might even trade out of the first round. I know a lot of teams have been saying that though, so I don't really know what you really expect to get. If everybody's trying to trade back, then usually it's kind of like a supply and demand thing. It's probably not going to work out best for you. So who knows? Maybe one of these blue check. Sorry, maybe one of the blue chip defensive ends. Maybe they start to fall a little bit, and John Robinson can move up. But There's so much you can turn on your TV and find somebody talking about the draft. Everybody's they've talked about it as much as they can. Shad Khan, the Jaguars owner, wants Hutchinson. The GM wants Walker or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of storylines tonight. But man, it's the draft. It's the draft. If you like the NFL, if you've got a team you watch, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching tonight. Of course, we have to wait till early February is the last game we get, and so any little bit of football we can get our hands on before then, usually get pretty excited. The draft, I mean, that's a big event. I was in Nashville a few years ago when they had the draft in Nashville, and I don't like crowds. I hate Nashville. I don't want to be in that busy city. But I had a lot of fun that day. I spent way too much money. Because we stopped at Margaritaville for a while, but or one of the, I don't know if it was it was some kind of place down there. That's what I'm calling it. I was drinking. Not alcohol. But they had some pretty good drinks down there. I spent quite a bit of money that day. But the draft is here. It's a great day. It's a wonderful day. I'm going to keep saying that because this is, of course, Ronnie's back too. So everything's good. Everything's great. But y'all make sure you don't go anywhere. We got a commercial coming up. But before that commercial, I've got a little promo read I'm going to do. Look, y'all can see on the bottom of this. Y'all see that? DMA, they sponsored us. That is so dope. That is really cool. It's also something that's very important to me. But here's my little promo read I'm going to do for you. Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Trapino. Dr. Anthony Trapino provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available, and in a manner that's compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Trapino is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. I think we're going to go to our commercial now.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
We've all heard the saying that a little can go a long way. This is especially true during the Big Payback's 24-hour online giving event, helping support hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. From 6 p.m. on May 4th through 6 p.m. May 5th, a gift of as little as $10 could be boosted by cash prizes and help to make a big difference in the life-changing work of local nonprofits. Learn more at thebigpayback.org.
Nobody covers high school sports quite like Main Street Preps, bringing you hyper-local coverage of the teams and athletes in your backyard. Wherever your Main Street is, well, we've got a podcast for you. From the Sumner County Sports Podcast with Zach Womble, covering Sumner County. Also, this one right here, Casey's Take on Sports, with a variety of takes, plus local preps to Dickson and Cheatham Counties. And the MSP North Podcast with Brady McAtamney and Blaine Keller, covering Montgomery and Robertson Counties. So Main Street Preps this week with Russell Lenosi and Tyler Palmatier with a macro view of prep sports in Middle Tennessee. Find the latest prep sports news from your Main Street at mainstreetpreps.com and find these podcasts dropping weekly on these Main Street media social platforms and wherever you get your podcast. Now, for today's second take, here's Casey Patrick.
I like that music. Also, every time I see that picture of Zach, that's hilarious. I hope he watches this podcast because he's going to think I'm talking crap about him, but I'm not. He just looks like Adam Schefter with his phone, and he's walking through, and I think it's funny every time. But you see the rest of those podcast stuff, y'all got to go give them a listen because these guys I work with, they're really good. They're really good at this job. They're good at podcasts. They know what they're talking about with sports. I wouldn't say that if they didn't. But we're going to get on into the second take. And the second take is Ronald Acuna Jr. is back. And I almost feel like, I mean, the timing, I don't know if it could work out a whole lot better. Of course, the Braves haven't had the greatest start to the season. They started out their first 17 games, they were 7-10. I think they're 19 games in the season now and 8-11, but that may be incorrect. But they were 7-10 after the first 17 games. Do you know what their record was after the first 17 games last year? 7-10. I'm not saying the Braves are going to win the World Series, but if you're sticking to a script, I guess that's how it's going to work, and that's okay. But Ronnie's back. Ronnie is back, and we've got a leadoff hitter. Rosario had been struggling really, really bad, and his eye got something wrong with his eye. I think Brian Snicker said he had a hole in his retina, but that's not technically true for whatever is actually wrong with Rosario. It was just swelling and blurred vision. I don't want to say it's just swelling and blurred vision. That can be a serious issue, but they had laser treatment, and apparently it went fairly well for Rosario, which is good. But they called up Travis Demerit a few days ago, and he hit a home run 2 days ago, or was it last night? I can't remember. The days are all mixing together. All I know is today's NFL draft and Ronald Acuna Jr. is back, and my bowling shoes are here. So it's hard for me to keep up with everything that's going on. But Travis Demerit got called up. He hit a home run. Hopefully that kid can just, now that he's up here, maybe he can just keep playing really well, and they'll just keep him here. And Duvall's hitting around the Mendoza line, but he plays good defense, and he's supposed to have a little bit of power. I don't think he's hit a home run yet, but the power will show up when it's supposed to. But Ronnie coming back is going to be a huge jolt, to this offense, which has been kind of stagnant lately. I think you would think between Matt Olson and Austin Riley and Ozzie Albies and Marcell Ozuna, you shouldn't have too many days where the offense is bad, but here to start the season, it hadn't been nutty insane. So whenever you get to add one of or the best player in all of baseball to the top of your lineup, that's going to help. And so Ronnie's back. I'm super excited. I just like watching him play. I know that he kind of rubs some people the wrong way because the bat flips and the celebrations, and God forbid anybody have fun playing a sport, but whatever. By the way, I wrote an entire opinion article on that, and it kind of ruffled some feathers, and that's okay. I enjoy ruffling feathers. But Ronnie's definitely one of the he's more fun to watch than just about anybody in the game. Whenever there are some people that whenever they're up to bat, I'm going to watch. Ronald Acuna Jr. is one of those. He's in the same boat with like Mike Trout and Fernando Tatis Jr. and the names go on and on. I don't have enough time to talk about all the great players in baseball, but Ronnie's one of them. And the fact that he plays for the team that I like. Remember, this is an A. It does not have the little mullet or the little twig up here. That's a different A. We don't wear that A. We should never wear that A here in this state because we don't care about that entire state. But this is an Atlanta A. And the fact that Ronnie plays for this team is that's a good one. I like that. I like the fact that Ronald Acuna Jr., who I believe is one of the top 5 players in the game, the fact that he plays for my team is really neat. And it wouldn't have happened any other way because the Braves don't usually go out and try and get people like that. But they traded for Matt Olson, so maybe the times are a-changing. Anyway, Ronnie's back. It's a good day. I know the draft's going to be on. That's what I'm watching, but I'm going to keep up with Braves baseball. I may even have the video up on my phone. But y'all make sure you don't go anywhere. We're going to get to the third take. We're going to talk a little John Morant, so y'all stay right here. Now, for my third take, and y'all, I always get this wrong. For the third take, you can see it down there on the bottom. John Morant gives the MIP award to his teammate Desmond Bain, the Most Improved Player award. I wanted to talk about that, but not so much that John Morant just gave him the award. It shows how tight this team really is. And if you're like me and you follow John Morant on Twitter, which you should follow me on Twitter if you follow John Morant on Twitter, at CVP51, that's me. But if you follow John Morant on Twitter, you'll see that he does a lot where he's shouting out his teammates and he's retweeting their highlight videos. And man, to me, and he retweeted the video that Desmond Bain put up when he walked into his house and he saw the award. I think what I wanted to say and what I wanted to bring up is that's a really close team. That's a really tight team. I think they truly enjoy playing with each other and being on the same team. I know they've kind of ran into the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been really good so far. And as far as I know, I think Memphis is up 3-2 right now. And listen, the Grizzlies may not be ready for big time yet. I'm not saying they won't win at all. I'm not saying that because who knows? I surely don't. But if they don't win, I think there's still a little bit of I don't want to say maturing because that's not the right word, but there's a difference between inexperienced and young, and you have to kind of get to that experienced portion where you have been to the playoffs a few times, and you start to really learn things about how you need to operate, what it takes to beat other teams. And I don't know if Memphis has that yet. I also think they could use a few more bench pieces, but they're not far away. They're really not far away. And John Morant is a bad man. What do they say on Mama, there goes that man? That's who he is. He's a bad man. And he dunked on somebody again the other day. The problem is with TV, whenever you watch basketball, everybody else that's out there is a giant. So if everybody's 7 foot tall, John Morant's probably at least, 6'2", 6'3", but he looks like he's 5'10", because everybody else out there is like as tall as a house. So when he dunks on other people, it looks like a video game because he quite literally jumps out of the gym. It's just on top of people, just bam, all the time. And it scares me to death because I remember watching Derrick Rose. I had more fun watching Derrick Rose than basically, I'm pretty sure, any other basketball player that I ever watched. Derrick Rose came along, and I've told you guys before, I didn't get to see MJ in his prime. I was a very, very young child, and the only sport that I knew existed was NASCAR because my dad owned the controller to the TV, the control. So, I didn't really know much about basketball. I didn't get to see MJ. Watching Derrick Rose was like, hey, I loved Allen Iverson. I loved Tracy McGrady. I loved all those guys. But watching Derrick Rose and how he jumped and how he attacked the rim, I don't want to compare the two players, but John Morant does a lot of that. John Morant does jump at the rim. He jumps at people. He's very aggressive with the ball in his hand. That's great. I love it. It's good for TV. But I just hope he doesn't get hurt. I absolutely do not want to see another Derrick Rose incident. Because I wasn't even a Bulls fan. I didn't really care about Derrick Rose. He played for Memphis. Memphis was number 1. Tennessee was number 2. I was rooting against him that day, but that was fun to watch. Derrick Rose was fun to watch that day. He was amazing. He was amazing every time I watched him. I still like watching him, but you can tell you could tell after the injuries he was a different player. But I hope Ja can keep it going. I love the mentality of this team, how they work together. They really love each other. And this stuff like this, him giving that award to his teammate, this just kind of shows you what type of culture they have in that locker room. And that's great. I love it. But make sure and keep your eyes on those guys. I know there's a lot going on tonight. Maybe, I don't know if they're playing tonight or tomorrow night, but keep your eyes on them. Hopefully they can beat the Timberwolves and continue on into the playoffs, much like we're going to continue on to a commercial right here. Hang out with me. Just watch it's just a minute. Just watch the commercial. They're fun commercials. And then, hey, come back and we'll talk some high school sports, some local high school sports.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
We've all heard the saying that a little can go a long way. This is especially true during the Big Paybacks 24-hour online giving event, helping support hundreds of local nonprofit organizations. From 6 p.m. on May 4th through 6 p.m. May 5th, a gift of as little as $10 could be boosted by cash prizes and help to make a big difference in the life-changing work of local nonprofits. Learn more at thebigpayback.org.
Welcome back to Casey's Take on Sports, brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Trapino. Dr. Anthony Trapino provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Trapino is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522 today. Back to our host, Casey Patrick.
It's still really cool to me that we have a sponsor. I think that's pretty cool. And hey, they've meant a lot to me over the years. I've any of y'all that know me personally, you know I've had a few health issues here lately, and my entire life I've had certain other issues that I've had to deal with, and DMA's been there for a lot of it. So it's actually something that whenever it came across my email that they wanted to be a part of the show and help us with stuff like that, I was absolutely elated, and I'm down, and I'm happy that they liked the show enough that they wanted to be a part of it with us. So, like the promo said, y'all make sure and give Dr. Trapino a call. All right, but we're gonna talk a little high school sports real quick. Basically, right now, everybody is playing everything. There's a gazillion games going on. If you're bored sitting at the house, go out. If you got a quarter tank of gas, go out, get in your car, drive down the road. You can find a sport, and it don't matter what sport you want to watch. You want to watch a bunch of kids running around, you can watch track and field. You want to watch soccer, you can go find soccer, baseball, softball. There's tennis, all kinds of stuff going on. This week. I know some of the Harpeth teams over in Cheatham, they're having their senior nights. I know last night was senior night for softball. They played Creekwood. Creekwood actually had a really, really good game. That's a strong program, too. Nancy Jackson out there. And I love her. If you know Nancy, she can be wild. She's different, you know, but I love talking to her. I love Nancy. But she's got a really strong program. She's got some good kids. They're young. It's going to take them some time to really get going, but she's got a really good team. She told me when the season started, she had this team looked like the Lady Redhawks. That's what she told me. So she knows it's going to take some time. It's hard to win with 14 and 15-year-olds, but whenever some of the younger girls start to get older and some of the other girls really start to come into their own, Creekwood's going to be right there. But Dickson had a home and away with Henry County Saturday and Monday. I think Dickson lost both of those games for baseball. Let's see. Creekwood baseball. They played Fairview the other day. Fairview, Coach Duchesne out there, I believe they just added him, but Fairview's going to start getting better now. Creekwood baseball's had a little bit of a slow start to the year, but Coach Clapper's been out there since forever, so he'll get everything figured out. And let's see, where was I at Tuesday night? Oh, Cheatham. Cheatham softball, they played Tuesday night. Who was it they played? White House Heritage. Caitlin Cisco, again, she was on the mound. She was fantastic. I call it a mound. In the circle, it's not a mound. Softball doesn't have a mound. But Caitlin Cisco was really good pitching the other day. As is usual, they beat White House Heritage 3-1. I think they scored all 3 runs in like the 3rd inning and didn't need anything else. Cisco goes out there. She held Harpeth to 2 runs the other day. I'm glad I just said all this because it reminds me I have to text the coach and ask her for some quotes. I left early because my camera died. Anyway, there's all kinds of sports going on right now. I know last night started the first round. It was one of the rounds of the middle school area soccer tournament. That was last night. Man, there's I think I want to say Cheatham and Sycamore played a middle school last night for their soccer tournament as well. It's impossible to keep up with everything. And like I said, tennis is up and going. We had a photo gallery that it should have been in the paper just a few days ago for the Dickson Post. We had a photo gallery of the tennis teams, which is cool because Lord knows it's hard to get out there to some of those games. And got to give a shout out to Marty Allison for going out there and shooting some tennis for me. And we ran that gallery. And, when we can run photo galleries of different sports, it's great. I love it, having the opportunity to show kids that maybe don't get as much limelight as the others. But there's always something going on. And like I say, I mean, baseball and softball, there's a gazillion games throughout the year anyway. When you're covering 2 counties, it just feels like there's a game every night, and which there usually is. So, I tell you what, I think that's pretty close to my show for the day. But today is just a wonderful day. And I know I've said that a few times. I don't care if it's getting old. I don't care because it's draft day. Ronald Acuna Jr. is back. I'm going to show my bowling shoes again because these are look how nice these bowling shoes are. Oh, my goodness. Fit like a glove, too. Don't ask me how much I paid. I already felt bad about that. But y'all go out there. Y'all have some fun tonight. If you've got a local sport you want to go watch it. If you files NFL draft, let's see who the Titans take at 26. Maybe you can pull up the Braves game too and watch Ronald Acuna Jr. return back to right field for the Atlanta Braves. I'm sure. Well, it might be DH tonight. Who knows? I haven't seen the lineup, but thank y'all very much for coming to the show. Thanks to DMA again for the sponsorship. That's pretty cool. But y'all make sure and come back next week. I'm gonna try and keep getting better at these shows. Follow me at CVP51 on Twitter. You got something you want to complain about? You got something you want to tell me you think I need to talk about? My DMs are open. You can message me, tell me whatever you think. Give me a follow. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I can get better with. But thank y'all very much, and come back next time.
This has been Casey's Take on Sports with Cheatham and Dickson County sports reporter Casey Patrick. Follow him on Twitter at CVP51 and also anytime online at mainstreetpreps.com. Casey's Take on Sports is a Main Street Media production.